Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 4 of Jury Duty, a Big Brother podcast. I'm John Dunphy. I'm joined by Kyle Petty. Unfortunately, this episode, we are missing our feed queen, Gina Morgino. I know. It's going to be tough without her, but we will try to do our best.
We're going to soldier on.
And of course, it will be great to get her back next episode. And I'm sure she'll have a lot to fill us in on. But we're going to do our best. We're going to do our best in this episode. So let's get to work. I mean, there's a lot to talk about. This is Thursday, July 22nd. We are coming to you after the second eviction of the season.
Only the second.
So just a couple of the big bullet points from tonight's episode and last night's episode. Derek X wins his second veto of the season. Okay, he chooses to keep the noms the same. So Frenchie and Brittany stay on the block. And then tonight, for eviction night, we see Frenchie voted out of the house. After that, we went into the live eviction. Xavier wins his HOH. And that's where we're at.
So we love to see it. So let's just jump on
in.
I
think we should dive right in and just give all of our thoughts on the last couple episodes. There's a lot to talk about, a lot that we saw. So let's get to it. I was kind of hoping a girl would win. You know, I feel like it's.
Yeah, that would have been exciting. I guess I don't know. I also don't really care that Xavier won. I don't have strong feelings like for or against, but I mean, I guess we can get to that. We got to talk about Derek X first. How do we feel about him not using the veto? Yay, nay? Do you think that was good?
That was the right move.
Yeah,
Why use it? He said in the episode tonight, before the live eviction, he even said that part of the reason he didn't use it was because he didn't want Kylan to have to get any other blood on his hands.
Right.
I think, I know Brittany was very, very upset, but I think the house felt fine with how, with the two people that were up on the block. I think it was very clear who was going home.
Brittany was pissed. I guess the only concern was like if Frenchie came off. I don't know who she would go up against. And then really, I don't know what would have happened at that point.
Right.
Which obviously was why she was pissed.
But I just, and I know that it must be stressful for anyone that's up on the block. You don't want to be in that position where you might be going home. But I just felt like there was just this outrage from Brittany towards Kylan when I felt like he had a very logical explanation. We've seen this team twist continues to be so interesting, right? Because we see Brittany give the reason of being loyal to her team, the Jokers.
Yes.
And that was what got her sent on the block. You know what I mean?
Right. I don't think that was like a ridiculous thing. And the way that she was carrying on about it was like, yes, you were honest about like what's going on. You said that you're writing for your team, and that's excellent, like for your team. But this is kind of what I was trying to go over when I put up that whole brother video the other day. Was this exact thing? It's like, what are you talking? Like, if you're talking game, like that is game. Like it's black and white.
Right.
I don't know. I thought she carried on a little bit too much, but
I did too.
She took it too personal. Like
I totally agree. And in one of her DRs after the whole decision, I know she was saying that, she was saying, I've never been dishonest with Kylan and I'll never be honest with him again. And this and that. And I'm just saying, he didn't do anything he didn't do anything deceptive. I mean, it was clear that Frenchie,
and he said flat out,
he was totally upfront and explained it. So, he said, Frenchie's the target and you were the one that was most likely to save him. So
that did what I had to do.
Yeah.
So,
so that was definitely interesting. So I do think it was the right move not to use her because it was a completely logical reason from Kylan to put her up. I think the house was fine with it. Obviously, you're not going to use the veto on Frenchie. That's who everybody wants gone. So if it's so if you're not going to use
that's who he wanted gone. That's who he wanted gone.
Right.
There's really just nothing to say because like the absolute correct thing happened. How do we feel about Xavier as HOH?
Like I think I mentioned before, I actually was hoping that a girl would win. And part of that is like with what you mentioned, Brent. I just thought this, because there was this one point, he obviously said that he wanted Frenchie out, right? But then he made this comment about if Frenchie goes, that means 2 guys in a row have left. But, so now we need to get 2 girls out in a row or something like that. That's what he was saying to someone at one point. And I felt like that's I hate that, first of all. And then I also felt like I actually really like all of the girls in the house. And I
Here's the
would
thing.
love to see a girl win the HOH. And that was the one reason why I wasn't like thrilled with Xavier winning HOH.
Yeah, see, I don't necessarily hate that Brent is saying these things, okay? Because we've already heard that there's an all-girls alliance. Like whether or not this is true or not, I do think that that's what he's speaking on. And I know Gina has mentioned that there's been some rumblings on the feed that maybe he's not speaking very respectfully to all the women. I can't comment on that, but just based on what I saw tonight, if we are to believe that it's possible there's an all-girl alliance, and I think it makes sense that he doesn't want any more men to go because he's a man and they're being picked off. Well, I mean, I do think that it's a red flag, if nothing else.
Well, you know what I think is so interesting too, honestly, now that we're on this topic, is that it has been 2 men that have been sent home, but it's also been on the HOH weeks of 2 men. You know what I mean? It's funny.
Right, so, it has, but I mean, it certainly does. It still begs the question of like, are the men maybe being manipulated by this all-girl alliance? Right. Like, it's certainly worth a conversation.
You know, I don't think that Frenchie was because and then that makes me feel like Kyland wasn't motivated or manipulated in that way, because I think that Frenchie from the get-go. How many times did he say how much he wanted a meathead out? And even in the last couple of episodes,
yeah, I don't necessarily think that Frenchie was, but that doesn't mean that Kyland wasn't.
But then we've also, so Frenchie was talking about meatheads and jocks, right? And then Kyland, I mean, by the time Kyland was HOH, all the guys and all the girls were coming to him saying they wanted Frenchie out, except for Brittany. It wasn't like I don't think it was a big effort from the girls alone to get Frenchie out. I think that was like a house decision. And I think we saw that in the vote, 11-1.
I don't necessarily disagree with that, but then couldn't one then make the argument that this is a chance for this girls' alliance to rise, even if there wasn't one to begin with?
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
this certainly it really clears the way for it.
I'm sure that some of the girls in the house, or maybe all of the girls in the house, are thinking, well, yeah, good.
You know
Everybody
what?
wants
Might
this
as
person
well.
out.
Might as well.
This is 2 guys out now, right off the bat.
Yeah.
So absolutely. I think both of those things are probably are true.
We have to thank our friends at BB Junkie for this this graphic that we've got here, because we've got another good one. So what do we have here? Then we got the royal family.
Yes.
Yeah,
this is important.
So the royal family. That's not the royal family anymore, right? This is now royal flush.
Yeah, I think we did hear Kyland say royal flush in the episode.
Yeah, he did say that in the episode, but I do believe that royal family was said on the feeds because BB Twitter was ablaze with that one. But there's other interesting things about this graphic that I love how they put these together, because even within our royal family / flush, we've got Kyland and Sarah Beth. Oh yeah, they had a really fun exchange that I really enjoyed. They were nice. They looked really, really cute together. What is this? Potential final 2? Question mark.
Yeah.
And this chrysalis, I don't know anything about that. So I don't know now. Now, that does beg the question of was Frenchie onto something? Okay, just saying, just leaving that there. I don't know. Maybe Frenchie wasn't so crazy. No.
No.
Was crazy. He definitely was crazy. But if there's any truth to that, what can you say? Now we've got the slaughterhouse. Love that sort of together, because we don't really know what's going on. But even within that, we've got Whitney and Alyssa. Apparently they're sticking together, hoping the other girls take the guys out. That's a savage caption. Now Brent trusts Alyssa the most. It sounds like an error to me, because we've got this chrysalis going on. So look out, Brent.
Wow.
Drenchy's over. And I'm not upset about it. I guess since we're here, I'm going to tell you, I really don't like this Derek F. I don't like him. I don't know what it is, but I mean, he's really burning my biscuits good.
Yeah, I have to agree. I have to agree. I'm not a huge fan.
Not a fan
at the moment. Oh, maybe you can turn it around. But it's early. But at the moment,
I don't know. I haven't liked him. I haven't liked him since his intro.
Oh man.
Sorry. Man. The second he walked in the house, I was like, oh, okay. So now we got the Radicals. That's what the Kings and the Aces.
Yeah, this is actually
together. That's very interesting.
Yeah, this is the first that I'm hearing any mention of the Radicals.
And then the Mafia,
Yes,
the
the
Aces and
Mafia. Yeah.
Queens working together. Now, sadly, it looks like the Jokers are off to the side. Now, these Kingslayers, I don't know anything about them. That's Tiffany, Claire, Brittany, and Asa.
Yeah.
Um, Now, I got to tell you, I really would have liked to see Claire win HOH this week. It definitely would have given us the girl that you had said you wanted.
Yeah.
And I have to agree with Gina. There's something about her that I just feel like she's real smart and I feel like she knows things. I would have liked to see her win, but equally excited about Tiffany.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Tiffany's really, really smart too. So I don't know. I like the Kingslayers minus Brittany. I find it interesting that we have this note here talking about Derek X and Asa having each other's back. That's interesting. That's interesting. Now, what is this Jackpot Alliance? All right.
Yeah, I've not heard of this.
Claire, Tiffany, and Sarah Beth. I haven't heard about it until now. So thank you.
And I see it. I see it says Cliffany up there.
Cliffany. Another final two. I know you had mentioned this before, but we got to mention Tiffany's face is in all these. And I had read something because I don't watch the feeds, but I was reading something on Twitter, basically how Tiffany is kind of working all these people over with her braiding of hair.
Wow.
Like she's apparently braiding all these people's hair and she's talking to them. She's talking to them, like planting all these little seeds.
Right. Has those heart to hearts.
Yeah. Gina may really be right. Okay. And we still got the cookout going. I like that we still have Hannah mentioned as an unofficial member. I don't know what she's going to have to do to get into that, but good luck, Hannah. Big D's main three. All right. Apparently, he's got a final two with Xavier and a final two with Kyland. I'm sure he'll be exploring those more because his final two with Frenchie is effectively canceled.
Oh, my God.
And I guess maybe that's also why I don't like Derek F. I mean, I guess that's also how you have to play the game. But there's just something so annoying about him.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
You see, it's just odd because I feel like Tiffany and Derek F are two people that are in like a bunch of alliances, but in all the alliances that Tiffany, that she's in, they make sense to me. Derek F just seems to be on like a big spectrum, where like,
yeah, I don't know.
Between his final twos and his alliances, like Tiffany, when I see her face pop up on here, it makes sense to me, like why she's in those groups. Mm-hmm. Derek F, like I look at one group and I'm like, okay, and then I'll get the other group. I'm like, but those don't fit to me, like.
No.
There's one alliance that we saw tonight in this episode, this eviction episode, that I really, really liked. The Kings, the Queens, and Derek X. So that's the royal family, royal flush, right? I like of all these alliances, because I just feel like there's so many alliances, they're so hard to keep up with. But this one stands out to me. I like these people, when you think of alliances in the past.
Yeah, I like the royal flush. I like them. It's my favorite alliance as of the moment.
Yeah, I like all these people. Like every one of these people is like I'm rooting for in the game. So since we've been talking about all these alliances, right? We mentioned Drenchy, but I am curious to see with these different groups that Derek F is involved in. I am curious to see how his game changes now that Frenchie is totally out of the picture. He's somebody that I also am kind of keeping an eye on.
Yeah, I'm going to bring up the graphic again, actually, because what's interesting because I just like to see faces just too in general. But what I think is going to be interesting is that, like, I don't know, and it could just be because of the edit, but I don't know how married anyone else is to him. So even though, all right, so we're saying that he's got a final two with Kyland, I don't know. At least from the edit, it certainly looks like Kyland would be a whole lot closer with Sarah Beth. So then Xavier, I don't know. Even he seems to be friendlier with Kyland than Derek F. So I was looking at Big Brother Confessions on Instagram, and whoever runs that account was going on basically saying that they don't like the team twist. They don't like that people can't properly align and like really like run the game. And this is something that we had talked about like in our first video. I have to say how hard I disagree.
I completely disagree. Yeah.
I think it's just so interesting, especially, and I'm going to bring this freaking picture back up because like when you're looking at this jackpot thing and these Kingslayers and you're looking at these smaller things, like there's no shortage of drama to come,
Yeah.
because these alliances are so much smaller. Like, I feel like the game has been so boring over the years because you do have that one alliance that just always wins and just eats
Right,
everybody
right,
else up.
right,
And then
right.
even once they start to eat each other up, it's like, okay, well, I kind of knew I would lose a round now because I'm not winning anything. I knew I was a number. Like, people just know,
Right,
they know they're
right.
going, and that stinks. Because
Yeah,
of this, these are people who are really playing the game, and
exactly.
they're being forced to play it because they're on teams that are so small.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
that's awesome
Yeah,
that there's that
it's
much happening
yeah,
going into week
yeah.
3.
And
Three.
it's been such a great week, just overall,
Yeah.
and just with what we're talking about, I'm on the same page as you completely with the team twist, because I feel like you saw two different players, that were on the different ends of the spectrum this week, in a couple different ways. One is Brittany, and one is Derek X, right? Like, you see Brittany in the beginning of the week when Kylan is getting ready to make his nominations. She shows loyalty to her team, to Frenchie. It ends up with her on the block, right? And then
Yeah.
on the other side of that, we have Derek X winning the veto, doing what Kylan wants, so Kylan doesn't get any more blood on his hands. But Kylan's not on his team. You know what I mean? Now we see Derek
Right.
X reaching out and working with other teams rather than his own team. Not that he's like done anything to, upset his team, which is the Aces, which is Whitney, Brent, and Hannah with Derek X. It doesn't seem like he's done anything to like go against them or like make them not trust him in the game. But you can
Mhm.
see that it's clear that he is really kind of branching out and working with the Kings and the Queens. And so you're seeing Brittany get put on the hot seat for showing loyalty to her team,
Yeah.
and then you have Derek X really kind of like rising in the game, but doing it through reaching out to other teams rather than working just with his own team, which is really really
Yeah.
cool.
It's very smart. It's
Yeah,
very smart. He's getting to be somebody very exciting to watch.
it's funny because before we mentioned how Tiffany shows up in a lot of these groups, right? But then we go
Mhm.
back, Xavier is in almost all.
He's in
He's in.
almost all of them
He's
too.
in pretty much all of them except for the girls' alliances. So
Yeah.
he's in all of those. So really,
He's got a problem.
I think personally, it's got to be Brittany, like you were saying, and then the other one I'm just not 100% sure on.
There's a lot of potential for Xavier to get messed up here because he's in too many alliances. So I'm very excited to see how he handles this one.
It's to the point right now, I think, where pretty much every week, right, when we get to eviction night, somebody's going to be walking out that door feeling like they had, somebody stabbed them in the back.
Yeah.
Because at this point, it's so hard. Like, we're trying to run through all these things, and everybody is connected. Everybody is connected at this point. In past seasons, we would have two sides of the house, and if one was in power, they'd go after the other side. So yeah, you might be angry that you're leaving the house after you get evicted, but you know you were going against the other side of the house and you lost, right? But in
Yeah.
this season, the way that the team twist has started everybody off on separate teams, and now all these alliances are forming, it's set it up so that everybody's going to be walking out there feeling like they were stabbed in the back,
I'm
like this.
sorry. Every single season should start with the team twist. Every
Yeah.
single season.
All right, everybody, thank you so much for listening, for watching. It's been another great week in the Big Brother house. Second eviction of the season. Now we'll be looking ahead to see Xavier's HOH week. So we'll be coming at you again soon with a new episode. Thank you so much again for watching, for listening.